her presentation on her. This is Morgan Miller, and she has done her APE with Amy Sillenberg, who's the executive director at Climate Smart Missoula. And the name of Morgan's presentation is Developing Best Practices for Addressing Extreme Heat in Montana. So thank you, Morgan, and take it away.
Thanks, Lee. And everybody can see my presentation all right? Okay.
Yeah, looks great.
Yeah, so I focused on extreme heat and kind of what other communities are doing across the board. So just a little context about why I chose this project. I'm very interested in climate change and the connection between health and how it just is affecting all areas of life, health and well-being and economic growth, etc. And with heat, it's very apparent. So the last few years, there have been rising heat waves and things like that have increasing heat-related illness and death. And we know that a lot of that is preventable if we can prepare communities and help design communities that can reduce heat. And the equity component also was really important to me, that certain populations are affected by heat even more. And so trying to build that into whatever interventions communities do is really important. So as Lee said, I worked with Climate Smart Missoula. I was really excited to work with them because they have their vision of creating a resilient community and doing that in an equitable manner to address the climate crisis. And they had already been starting some work on heat, just wanting to really get involved and figure out what a heat plan would look like for Missoula and how can they pair that with their existing efforts to address wildfire smoke already. So for my project, I investigated the best practices across the US of what other communities were doing for extreme heat through online searches and reviewing the literature and just different communities that Amy and her team had heard of. And I compiled this into a Google spreadsheet so that it was a dynamic form for the data, so that if it was shared, it could be used and translated for different stakeholders. And so once we compiled that data, I came up with some summaries and then translated that result into a web page that is going to be used for stakeholders and continuing this planning process for heat in Missoula. And so the overall goal behind this is so that Missoula can better respond to the increasing summer temperatures and improve health, support the Climate Ready Missoula plan that's already out there and to build off of those efforts. And then something else we talked about was having this relevant for communities all across Montana. Since I'm in Billings, it might be useful for my community to do that if we're interested in wanting to build our heat resilience. So for my first product, it was the Google spreadsheet of best practices. These were the competencies that I was working on, assessing population needs and really digging into different cultural values and equity concerns and figuring out what are the different needs for different settings. And so with the research, I really focused in on what are the characteristics of communities that are out there and working on heat, what interventions are they doing, what are they doing well, what are they having challenges with, and like I said, what populations are they working with and how are they incorporating equity into their work. And something that we really wanted to hone in for Climate Smart Missoula was community engagement strategies. Is that something they're interested in building into their work, really getting the community engaged and getting their feedback. And then lastly, just evaluation and data, if that's out there, funding sources, and then some contact information and useful resource links was a big part of this research that I did. So when we went into this, we were expecting to see communities had a very organized heat plan and strategy, and that would be easy to look across the different communities. But what we really found were that it was very scattershot, that communities were at very different stages of understanding heat and working towards heat. Some had plans, some did not, and it was very much just digging really deep into what was going out there to figure out what people are doing and what's the best practice. So with that, I compiled all of my research into this spreadsheet. It's pretty large, so I tried to color code it a little bit. The blue is communities that were similar to Missoula and Montana. Red were like top best practice communities, and then I had a couple other colors in there. But this was really the meat of all the different interventions and equity, different populations, characteristics, things like that was in this first part of the spreadsheet. And then from there, I boiled down all of my research into the best communities for Climate Smart Missoula to look at into different interventions, because a lot of things were lumped by different intervention, and things such as built environment improvements or heat and community education, things like that were pretty common threads across a lot of different communities. But as you can see, not very many of them had formal heat plans. So it was definitely doing a lot of digging to see what was out there. And I did include a few things here just that was relevant to the team at Climate Smart Missoula, such as interactive maps and quality web pages, is that something they want to build out with this heat work that they're doing. So after that, I boiled it down a little further and took my top communities and just highlighted the best links and resources that I found, since there was quite a bit in my research, and put that here. And some of the different types of resources that I came across were heat plans, heat toolkits, like this one is the Miami-Dade toolkit was excellent. It ran into what are the different types of interventions you could do and how to start a planning process. Adaptation and interventions, urban mitigation interventions, community engagement strategies were really strong through a lot of communities, which was exciting to see. And then some communities did do heat studies and had some data, but that was really missing across the board. Not a lot of communities had that. And lastly, lots of websites and education materials seem to be the most common thing that communities would have, just like general public information on how to prepare for heat. So one of the creative and community engagement tactics I wanted to highlight here were from Philadelphia and Boston. So Philadelphia here, this top one, they did poetry workshops in the neighborhoods to really get down to that neighborhood level feedback, to really get residents thinking about how heat was affecting them and to get their ideas on how to craft solutions that would work for the neighborhood. And then Boston had this unique comic that was online that their residents could just click and create their own comic that told their story on how heat was affecting them. And they were building that into their heat plan and using that community data. So just some general observations of looking at the data. Like I mentioned, many communities are at different levels of how they're addressing heat. But some of the larger communities are really great examples because they've been, they have a little more resources than especially ones in warmer climates like Arizona and Miami have been working on this a little bit longer. So they were great examples to start with, to see what they're doing and build it out from there. And like I said, there's a generally lack of evaluation and data across the board, but it seems like that's a big push that communities are starting to build that into their plans and efforts. So lastly, on my spreadsheet, I put together some general observations a little bit more in depth of what I was finding across cities. And just a couple themes I'll mention here were that heat and wildfires and drought definitely overlap with climate work, but they were often not called out or addressed in plans. And so that's something to consider for Missoula, as I know they're already doing some of that work, which is great. And then heat plans, when we went in thinking, a heat plan would outline certain strategies on how to address heat across the board. Most of the time we saw a heat plan was just a simple communication strategy for how to deal with a heat wave. So not really preparing for it on the back end and coming up with more community level strategies, but there were a few out there that were a little bit more comprehensive. So, all right. And then lastly, I put together just some general next steps or recommendations for Missoula to consider with different interventions and different kind of levels of effort. So starting with very simple, establishing cooling centers across Missoula to building up infrastructure efforts and things like that. So the goal with that was to really just create this database for Missoula to use with sharing to stakeholders as they start building out their plan. So having many resources and ideas for how they want to tailor it to the community in Missoula. So with that, I put together just a general web page to share the findings in a more simplified manner to those stakeholders and really assist them in preparing that heat plan, which they have excitingly a fellow coming in to continue this work. So my web page was my product number 2, and these were the competencies for that. This is just a snapshot of the web page. We put together just a little information on my project and role and what heat looks like, and then below outlined the different intervention buckets. So had a little section on toolkits and plans, because those were quite a few resources out there, and then public education and how to tailor it to different communities. Something across the board that Indigenous communities are often very affected by heat, but not very many communities had addressed them as a vulnerable population or tailored their messaging to that group. And then just a couple more buckets that I built out into the website. And if I have time, I can hop over to the actual site. But creative community engagement was a big one. And so I had that as a little bit bigger of a section for my website page, web page. And then lastly, my community service, I did a couple cleanups on the highway and trails, rimrock trails, to help clean up trash from my community. So I think I have a minute left. I'm gonna switch over to my web page real quick. Are there any questions while I'm doing that? Okay, can you see the spreadsheet?
Oh, there you go.
Okay, a little delayed. So this is a brief glance at the spreadsheet, not in snapshots. I had a methods page, lots of research and links, and then the kind of the summary pages there to simplify it a little bit. And then the web page is unpublished, but drafted and ready to go. And there are the different buckets of the different strategies. And that's my presentation.
That's great, Morgan. Wow, that impressive amount of work there. Does anybody have a question for Morgan?
I have one. Morgan, nice job on your presentation. You know, during forest fire season, it's really hot, it's very smoky, and oftentimes people don't have air conditioner. So what type of recommendations would you make to the rural populations that maybe don't have AC or can't afford AC? Like, what are the primary messages that you can tell these folks?
Thanks, Tony. That's a great question. Just pulling from the research that I found, many communities build out cooling centers that people can go to, but I really liked that some communities took it a step further, that they had mobile cooling stations. So I think Arizona had a bus that they would bring to populations as a cooling station, so that maybe if they weren't mobile, they could have that come to them. And I think that could be good for rural options, that you could use existing infrastructure to create those hubs that people can go if they don't have air conditioning. And I also saw that a lot of communities are shifting to calling cooling centers resilience hubs and having a little bit more to offer there, such as not just water, but they could have more energy assistance or more programs there that can help people out.
All right, thank you.
Thanks. I think we have time for one more question for Morgan. Does anybody else have a question? I have a question. I was just interested in, because equity has become a real focus for our public health essentials. What did you learn from different states about what they're doing to ensure that heat, that this problem with heat is addressed across all populations, and particularly those with lower income or less resources?
Yeah, that is a great question. A complex one for sure. I think what I saw across a lot of communities was really building in that community engagement piece to really understand those communities that are more vulnerable. So it differs between each community, but like Arizona has an indigenous population. So they did really robust community engagement to understand what the needs were for that population and to build in their suggestions into the solutions as well. So I think really understanding the need and then building in their input across how it would be useful to them and how they're experiencing heat. And I think for a lot of communities, just identifying who those vulnerable people are and where they are and how you can build resources like cooling centers in the neighborhood level that affects people who are majority in an urban heat area or something like that.
Great. Thanks, Morgan. Okay, I think